Hey, welcome back to my channel. I want to have a little bit of a follow-up discussion on a previous video I posted about what makes a hang-on stand a mobile hang-on stand. I wanted to talk about the companies that are available out there today, right now, and just talk about and cover the stands that they offer at the price point they offer them and their weight and platform dimensions and stuff like that, and then kind of break down into some of those things. So I'm going to try to read through this as fast as possible. There's quite a few options here, 6 stand companies in total, and I just want to make sure I cover all those and then kind of get into some discussions about some of each of those individual things. So to start things off, I'm going to go with cast aluminum platforms. You have XOP and Novix. There is Lone Wolf out there, the original Lone Wolves. You might be able to find those in some stores here or there, but they're kind of discontinued and have transferred into the company Novix. And so I'm not going to be talking too much on those, as you can get those updated versions from Novix. But XOP sells the Air Raid and the Vanish. The Air Raid comes in at their large stand, $250, weighs 11.8 pounds, with a platform size of 30 by 19.5. The Vanish is a 10.5 pound stand, comes in at $220 with a platform size of 27 inches by 19. Both these stands have the highest weight rating on this list of 350 pounds, which I thought was pretty awesome. It is a made overseas company, so if that is something that bothers you, I'm shooting out an iPhone, it doesn't bother me. So if it's something that bothers you, all the rest of these are made in USA companies, and hopefully you can find a home in those. So Novix is also cast aluminum. They have the Echo and the Hilo. The Echo is their largest stand at 11.5 pounds, 30 by 19.5 inches, and a price point of $360. If you were to be getting the mobile hunting a year ago, these stands were $100 cheaper than these Novix ones. $50-ish on the XOP, but these stands were $100 cheaper. The Hilo costs $340, weighs 9.2 pounds, platform size of 26.5 by 16, and both stands have a 300-pound rating. The rest of these stands, except for one, with the exception of one stand, has a 300-pound rating. Next, we have Out on a Limb, which they bring a welded construction platform out with the Hush stand, $400, weighs 8.2 pounds, platform size of 24 by 17 inches. After that, you have the Elevate stand. Going forward from here, we have solid aluminum billet platforms that have been machined to either water jet or machining. The Element is $460. It's a stand that they released not this year, but last year. 10.4 pounds, 29 by 18 3/4. And the Element Ultra is a stand they came out with this year, $420 on the price, 6.25 pounds weight, super light, 23.75 inches by 17, and both these stands have a 300-pound rating. Hunting Beast gear. This is the lowest weight rating on the market right now of 275 pounds. It is the Beast stand, weighs 6.8 pounds only, with a large platform dimension of 29 by 16 inches. The price point is $625. It is currently on sale for $595, although it is out of stock, so I don't know when those come back in stock if that's going to be the same price or not. Going from there, you have Lone Wolf custom gear. You have the 2.0, the 1.0, 0.75, and 0.5. 4 stand options, all weight rated at 300 pounds. The 2.0 is the most expensive stand on this list at $700, and it's a flat $700. Doesn't matter your post options or your seat options. The 1.0 and the 0.75 are both $600. They're at their standard options. And the standard options on those are a 20-inch post, and then for the 1.0 is the 1.0 seat, and for the 0.75 is the 0.75 seat. both seat use the same padding, but they have a different size and thickness of a seat. The 0.5 is the cheapest stand, the most affordable stand that they offer at $500. That's with the standard options of an 18-inch post and a 0.5 seat. The 0.5 seat is fairly small, but it is pretty nice. I have these set over here because two options that they don't have listed on the website is your pad thicknesses. They have two different size thicknesses of pads. I'm sure if you were wanting the thinner pad, you could request it, even though that thick pad is pretty comfortable. There's two post options for each of these lone wolf stands. I'm going to get into that now because it does affect the price and it does change those things a little bit. If you go up in a larger seat or something like that, it's going to change the price by $25 or so, post size and also seat sizes. And I think this is done because the seats and stuff, they cost different prices, and not only that, but you're individualizing your orders. So that's more detail and assembly as you order. So you order it, they're gonna assemble what you order and ship it out. So I think that time in order, that lag time in it to make sure they can get it assembled and sent out at a good enough amount, good length of time, it's gonna affect that price point because it is customizing everything. You have two post options for everything. The 0.5, you can get in the 18-inch or the 22-inch. The 0.75 comes standard in 20, or you can upgrade to a 22. The 1.0 comes in at standard 20 or 22. And the 2.0, you can do either standard, which is the 22-inch post, or you can do a shorter post at the 20-inch post. Something to talk about with this. The 0.5, the two post options, when you get the 22-inch post, you don't have the seat integration abilities for the seat shelf. There is a bolt that you can put in the post, which is pre-drilled into it, which I think is great by Andre to make sure to be like, hey, we lose this ability, how can we fix it? Oh, put a hole in here, throw in a 1/4-inch bolt. Now that shelf is still available. So that's really cool to see. And that is available there. The other stands, they have multiple anchor points in their stand for where that shelf will slide into. So that's just something to consider with those. Now to talk a little bit on each of these companies and the innovation and what's available to you. I want to talk about the Out on the Limb and the Elevate stand, as those are two that kind of stick out different and kind of one way or the other the line with these. So these are the only stands on this list that don't have the normal kind of standoff bracket. Let me grab a stand real quick. And I'll show you this right here. So on these standoffs, this is a 0.5. This is with a 22-inch post. So if you see, that post extends beyond, but it still has a bolt here, and it still has that seat shelf. So, but that standoff, let me fold this up, is right here. Let me get this out of the way for you. The brackets, the standoffs on the Elevate, you have the Elevate and the XOP Hush, they both, they're like a V shape, so they're more like the base of the platform of your stands. They make a V shape like this, right? So the way that they make contact to an angled tree, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. I don't know how it's going to hold up over time with other stands, but if you look at that, that's pretty straight across. So if you have a leaning tree, you can have it make points here on these two teeth, or these two, or these two, or these two, or these two, right? So there's many adjustments. If you're out on one point, you can make a point here, and it might even make contact inside here depending on the size of the tree and how the bark is and how thick the bark is. And this design of it straight across, looking like a castle like this, they run that on XOPs as well. And I think a big reason for that is because Cody DeQuisto, Andre's son, he does a lot of work with XOP, and he got them really pointed in the right direction with their innovation and making good, affordable, the least expensive option on the market stands, as long as you're okay with them being made overseas. But the Hush and the Elevate stands, their brackets are like a V, so they're more like this when they contact the tree. So if it's offset, you make contact here. There's no other point from here to here that's going to be supporting that tree, or if it's in here, like so it could run into some issues there depending on how you feel about hanging that stand. I've seen them in some crooked trees, but I haven't seen anything in a pretty aggressive lean tree with those. But that would be something that would be concerning to me. Also, the Elevate stand, the new Element Ultra. I got a buddy who made a video and he's bent his bracket, he's bent his platform. The metal in that is very thin. It's a 1/2 inch thick, and these are much thicker than that. No, I wouldn't say much, but they're thicker than that. So, however that pertains to you, I mean, that's fine. He's a bigger guy. You can see him at Michigan Great Outdoors and watch his videos. Search a comparison between a 0.5 and the Element Ultra. Novix, I do own both of their stands. They were some of the first ones I got when I got into mobile hunting with the hang and hunt setup, and their size differences are pretty aggressive. 30 by 19.5, and then 26 by 16. These Lone Wolf Custom Gear stands are 16.5 inches wide right here. And that's something that I honestly think is really important in these compact setups. When you have this on your back, it doesn't really stick out to the sides. I mean, you put this on and it tucks right behind you. As you're walking through the brush, as you're walking and moving and kind of dipping around, you don't have anything sticking out. Some of these stands, like the 2.0, which is 22 inches wide, I mean, that's 5.5 inches wider. I mean, you're coming out to like here. So it gives you more stuff, more possibilities on catching on brush or sticks and twigs as you're moving through stuff. So that's just something to consider when you're looking at these. That's one reason why I really liked that Novix made that helo at 16 inches year or two ago. I want to say last year when they came out with it. I thought that was really cool. And when Lone Wolf Custom Gear came out with this 0.5 at 16.5 inches, a lot of guys made a hey, I want a hybrid between a 0.5 and 1.0 because of that thinness. So that's also something to look at with those. But Novix has that Echo and Helo. The XOP, both their stands are at the 19.5 inch wide area, so they have a lot of foot space up there. The Beast Gear stand, that comes in at 16 inches wide, but it's also 29 inches long. That is a very long platform. And the antler bracket on that's really aggressive. I wanted to talk about that. It bites and digs into the tree, nice, right? It's something that's like, oh wow, that's impressive. But one thing I didn't like about it is when you do cam that platform over, the pressure on that strap and those teeth are so aggressive that it pulls. It's like a lever where that strap is, and it just drives those spikes in the back of that bracket into the tree. And when it does that, it removes pressure from the base of the platform, so you're able to pull that stand out. So if you do run a B stand, I definitely recommend using a second strap at the base to make sure you don't get that kick out when you're climbing in and out of the stand. It's something to keep an eye on. And that's just in my opinion, and that's kind of the reasonings why I don't have it, because I personally didn't like it. But like I said, to each their own, everyone has their opinion, right? Also out on a limb, the Hush stand, the directions on that website don't tell you to tow hook the stand. The way you set it up, you just put it on, put some weight, cam it over, done. And their minimum tree diameter to get into is an 8-inch tree. So I mean, that's a significant size tree. And I've hunted smaller trees in the past. Like I think I got a doe out of a tree that was probably 4.5, 5 inches. So that's also something to consider when you're looking at these, because it's not, I didn't see that 8-inch minimum until I went into the warnings and how to the manual link on that for that stand. One thing I think that is great about XOP is their innovation in their what they offer in the stands and what they offer for stacking your sticks, attaching your sticks to your stand. There's a lot of stuff that they're doing. Novix offers a lot of stick options. One thing that really impresses me is that they offer a mini single step stick that comes in at the same weight of like 1.5 pounds as Lone Wolf Custom Gear Mini Compact. Their smallest compact at 17 inches, and they weigh the same. And it's at a fraction of the price point. So I think that is really cool. However, one thing that I do like, I'm gonna show you real quick. One thing that I really like about the custom gear steps is they're very large. I mean, that's a 5-inch step and they're super thick. I want to say this is almost double the thickness of those original steps, and the way that they're textured and angled and they swoop up at the end to help with, you know, your boot not slipping. I think that is really cool as well. So that's some of the looks at. Oh, and not to mention these, the way that these stack, look at, they lay flat, they stack vertical, thin, so they lay on your platform very nicely. So that's what you're getting at a higher dollar, is the innovation of that. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with this list. That's your mobile options. Some people might say, oh, you can get a Hawk stand or you can get a Millennium M7 stand and this and that, but they don't have all the options you need for a mobile hunter to be able to hunt the most options aggressively, quietly, and in my opinion, safely. If you have to drill and modify and alter a stand, you're putting your safety at risk. Why not just get into something that's designed to do what you need it to do? And that's the big reason why I made this list. Is sure, you can modify this to do that, or you know, whatever, but get something that's designed to accomplish what you need it to, and be safe about it. Get out there, test these out, put them on trees, put them up, take them down, figure your system out now so you don't have to be doing it later. Because when you're on the fly in season, setting up in the dark, taking down in the dark, it can get complicated. Yeah, sure, turn on a headlamp, do whatever you want to do, but that only goes so far. Know your way around a tree, practice going around limbs with the linesman, with your linesman belt, right? And practice it. Take shots from an elevated position onto a target. See how that shot angle changes. Do some real life situational shooting. Do some real life situational practice. You see a lot of videos of guys setting up and taking down on trees that are just perfectly straight with no branches. You're gonna have branches. You want branches. You want something that's gonna provide cover that helps blend you into your environment when hunting. So be safe, good luck, and let me know what you thought about this video if it helped you out. Have a good one.